What's up with TikTok, man? I know you all over this.
Yo, you know that I really like TikTok because I use it as a search engine. First off, I learned how to cook. Uh, the information that's on there could be biased. No, forget about it being biased. The information that's on there is all information. It could be right information, wrong information, right side information, left wing information, black information, white information, but it's not filtered. You see, before TikTok, we only had one information.
Yeah.
And that was Fox News or MSNBC, where they only gave one agenda, and that's all we knew.
Yep. And my cousin turned me on to that. He kept starting to send me little TikTok videos here and there, and I'm like, stop sending me this shit. And next thing you know, like I'm like in the middle of the night, I'm like, oh, that's funny. Oh, that's good. But it's entertainment and education.
And education.
But it's kind of like anything else. A lot of it is actually things that need to be taught, and a lot of it is National Enquirer stuff.
It's true. You know what's something that I learned on TikTok that I seen a kid talking about it the other day? I've never learned the the Constitution or Amendment rights in school. And he was like, why they don't teach us that?
No, they don't harp on it, and they should.
Until you break the law, and then they're like, oh, you know what you did?
You shouldn't learn about it in the police academy, or like you said, your attorney telling you while you're sitting at the table.
And you break the law, and then it's like, oh, I didn't know that. That was your job to know.
Don't you know what the 14th Amendment is?
Yeah. Oh. But the ban on it, so I was hearing them say, oh, it belongs to the Chinese. And the Chinese are getting our data. But I'm like, hold on. You know, I did some research and I've seen it. I'm like, hold on, it's 20% owners and they're from Singapore. Is Singapore in China?
Close enough.
It's close enough.
but it's got nothing to do. This is me.
But then 80% of the owners are from this country and worldwide. Like, how is it that they're saying that it's only this, and then they say they're collecting all your data? Yo, TikTok is like the corporation number 60 in collecting data.
Okay, here's my thing about how stuff starts, and this is just what it is.
Yeah.
Like at the end of 2020, Trump.
But we're gonna go.
Oh no, it's just what happened.
Okay.
He signed an executive order because he was trying to get rid of TikTok.
Okay.
And it got a lot of blowback from the courts, much like what's going to happen this time. And I don't know if he talked to somebody, and I'm guessing he did, but he realized that it wasn't popular among the young people.
It's not.
So it kind of died down and went away.
Yeah.
So when the election was over and Biden became president, he let it lapse. He rescinded the order.
Okay.
So somehow for 4 years, TikTok has been fine. And then you got mostly the Republicans brought it up again, which is weird because Trump had a change of heart.
Yeah.
Which I'm wondering what's going on there because that doesn't make sense.
Is the lobbyist?
No,
you know who's really behind it? The competition.
Well, you know,
Facebook, Google.
Well, and
YouTube.
this is something I was watching the other day, like Rand Paul. He's a senator from Kentucky, I think, and I saw him on TV. And Rand Paul always has an agenda.
Yeah.
Okay, and it's never, if he's doing the right thing, it's kind of
is that the guy that's trying to buy it?
No. He's for not banning TikTok.
Okay.
But the reasons why, when you dig into it, there's a billion. And it explains him and Trump in their flip flop because what's his name? There's a guy Jeff Yaz. He's a billionaire, and he got the original. He jumped into TikTok early. He's like a 15% owner, wow. And he is a major donor to Rand Paul and the Republican Party overall.
Oh shit!
So basically, I think what happened with that was the same thing that happened with the border. Like when Trump came in and said, "Hey, no, don't do this shit." Yaz was like, "Hey, yo." I mean, he donated. He's worth $28 billion, and he's donated to Rand Paul and really all of Republicans. He's just that guy.
Yeah.
But that explains the change of heart.
It does.
But the reality is, TikTok. There's no proof that Chinese are involved in any way, that there's information being disseminated in the wrong way or whatever.
I think what's happening is that they're not able to just keep one agenda. You see that shit with Chuck Schumer that I told you.
Yeah, change of heart. Totally change of heart.
You know why? If you look on TikTok, what's going on in those countries, they'll show you that they're not killing other military people.
No, they're not.
But like the thing is that nowhere else is showing it how TikTok is showing it. Remember that Facebook used to have videos like a propaganda, and they came after them.
Right.
Oh, take away all those ISIS videos. Take away these videos. That on TikTok is not happening. So you got people who are there who are like, why are they knocking down our internet towers? Why are they hitting the homeless shelters? Why are they killing women and children?
Well, and this is all over because what you're just saying right now, it's also the media driven to get rid of TikTok
Yeah,
because of everything you're saying.
yeah,
Because there's so many people like it's even Facebook. If Facebook goes, if Facebook is doing the same thing to TikTok as the news networks did to Facebook.
yeah. They censored them.
Yeah, yeah. We're like, we don't
It's
want
like
to get this stuff out of here because
Facebook
everybody's
is like
using it.
politically correct. You can't say anything on it. You know what you do if they post something about anything political? They'll say false information on it.
Oh, I
Do you
thought you just get kicked
yo? It
off.
says, do you recognize that you're posting false information?
I know people that are in Facebook jail, and that's been for years now. I'm like, what the hell did you post? To, and it's really nothing
Yo,
horrible.
Facebook is so censored that if you give a lot of likes, it'll say the algorithm is seeing unpopular behavior. We're gonna give you a break for an hour.
Well, and that leads us back to the TikTok thing, and you use it way more than I do.
I enjoy TikTok
Well, sad to say, I am too. It's like the more I look at it, and
because you can control the algorithm.
yeah,
Like
what you're interested in,
yeah.
and that's what a lot of people, whether it's big bootied women over here, Black history over
I
here.
barely see any. I barely see any women. Like my cousin sometimes will send me. I'll be like, don't send me none of that shit because my algorithm is like
It'll pick it up.
cooking, politics. But then I start seeing girls and I'm like, what the fuck is this? Like I didn't really.
Yeah, who are you? Why am I in
Fuck, I
trouble
want to
now?
see you. But I don't know, man. They want to ban it, but they getting so much pushback, man.
Well, they're going to get total pushback, and I think the same thing's going to happen because it's weird. Because okay, you got the House of Representatives brought this up for some kind of strange reason out of the blue after 4
Distraction.
years. Yeah, and it's they got some Democrats on board and they passed it and it goes to the Senate, which it is an unpopular thing, which I don't get. Like I really personally like without just my projection, say it'll go to the Senate and it should get shot down because not all Republicans are on board with it and not all Democrats are on board with it. So I don't see how it would even pass to get to Biden's desk.
He said he's
Because
signing it if he gets to his
yeah,
desk.
which I don't know why he said that because
Why would
that's
he say
stupid.
that?
Because
Yeah.
it's stupid. He should have kept his mouth shut.
You haven't seen that video about it's on TikTok actually that they said that in America is not a issue of right people like what is right wingers or left wingers.
Right.
It's an age thing, and the younger crowd does not like to being censored, to being controlled, and that's a way bigger population right now.
Well, it is, and that's the whole thing about the younger generation. Like something had to kick that anthill to get them involved, and this is it.
That's
more so than abortion.
Yeah.
Abortion is weird because somehow like I never see like a panel full of women talking about the abortions ever in my life. It's always like older dudes. Like women are so not involved in that,
I've heard,
and I don't get that. I don't get where all the activists are.
it's true, and I've seen even like people who I had a lady who gave me a different perspective on abortion that I never looked at. I'm always open to listening to something. I always just said, hey, if they want to get an abortion, that's their business. Like, why would I be? I'm not gonna lie, I've done abortions before, but it was like lack of information, and I was young, and I just didn't want to have a kid at the time.
Yeah.
And the lady was like, "Who's fighting for those kids?" And I was just like, "Why would we need to fight for kids that they don't want?"
Right, and that's twofold. It's like it's away from TikTok, but yeah, it's kind of like it gets back to the government meddling in your business.
What you were saying about them giving kids rights and everything now.
Well, and that's all kids.
And that's where the TikTok banning comes in.
Well, if you notice, everything in this world lately, as far as the United States, has been about protecting children.
Right.
Even though they're not protecting children that don't have parents, they're protecting children. It's like, who are you to? Don't scream government overreach and then want to tell me what to do with my child.
My child, yeah.
Because your child right now, you have 2 children, right? They have less rights than you did when you were their age.
I did everything I wanted. I told my mom the other day, I was like, Mom, my son has a phone. He's, 11, 12. The kid barely goes anywhere. I track his phone. I track what he does. I said, I was his age, no phone, no watch. I would leave my house and you would tell me, hey, before the sun comes up, before the sun goes down, I need you here. And I would be in the other side of New York City, get on a payphone, dial 411, and ask for the time. The payphone would tell me,
Sure.
it's such and such time. And I'll tell my friend, man, we're going to have to get on this train. We got to get back home already because I need to be home by this time. But my
Yeah.
mom would never in her mind imagine that I'm on another side of the world
That's,
doing some crazy shit. Who knows?
that's one of those Gen X Facebook things I saw. It's like, like it was kind of self-survival. The ones that didn't make would end up on unsolved mysteries.
Yeah, or on the back of milk cartons.
Only the strong survive. Yeah, it's like, okay, that sounds horrible, but yeah, you learn survival skills.
But I survived. Like I could go anywhere. Like how are these kids gonna do it? These new
Well,
kids.
they're so dependent on. Forget the fact that the parents know if they care where their kids are, but they're so dependent on. If they lost their phone, they'd be like turtles on their back.
Yo, I
They
saw
they don't know their address. They don't know their parents' last name.
the other day I was saying that I was like, man, they don't know what it's like to not have a phone.
No,
They don't know what it's like to not have technology. And I
no.
come from the era that didn't have technology.
I think that is so dangerous and so.
Have you ever seen,
If you don't teach your kids what it's like,
have you ever seen that movie on Netflix about it was like the World War with that black guy that was on Creed, the last Creed. Forgot his name. But in the movie, they shut down the Wi-Fi towers. And
people just wouldn't know what to do.
panicked. They didn't know what to do. It was the end of the world. I can't watch my show. Like it was like being reborn.
Well, it's weird because you know what technology does. It allows people not to have to deal with each other.
My son told me the other day. I was like, "How much time do you spend on TikTok?" And I was looking at his phone time, and he was like, "Oh, I'm like, yo, I'm about to take you off of it." No, Dad, I'll spend less time on it.
Yeah, it's
And
panicked,
I was
right?
like, fuck, bro. Like, how is this like? You should just be like, okay, like I'll spend, but I'll spend some time on it too. Like I'm not gonna lie, not a lot of time because I do a lot throughout the day. But I'm like, all these kids are on there all this time.
I can't imagine, dude. I am old, and I started with sitting around like I put my little headphones on, and I'm sitting there on my phone or watching like whatever's on TV, and I'm like, I got to cut myself off because I'm like, well, I've been looking at these videos for like 45 freaking minutes, so I can only imagine what kids are doing.
They don't know what it's like to be quiet.
Yeah, because I'm like, dude, I got to go outside and ride my bike.
Yeah.
I got to go outside. I can't
I
just
was young,
sit
my friend
here.
would call me, yo. I'll be like, oh, where you going? I'm going. My friend came on the bike. We're gonna go out.
Yeah.
These kids don't go anywhere.
I feel bad for them, and I think at some point, you gotta have a day where like towers go down
Did you
and
see?
things like
Yeah,
that.
I think they do it on purpose. I seen the other day, Facebook went down.
Yeah,
I thought somebody had hacked my account, and then I saw that everybody felt like somebody hacked their account
but
because it kicked me out. It was like, oh, please put in your password. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, I've never.
but it's weird because Facebook went down, but that more affects old people these days.
Yeah,
I mean,
Facebook
my mom's
is
like,
older.
I don't know my password. I'm like, I don't know your password either.
And they were telling you to reset your password.
Yeah, but it's like younger people, Instagram, frickin' TikTok, and all these influencers, which is how people make livings these days. That's the thing that's gonna getting back to the whole. I don't
Banning
think the
TikTok.
Senate's gonna pass it, but I don't know why it being such a uh, unpopular move. I don't get if I were president, I would be very reluctant to sign it if I could not find any proof of any kind of interference.
I think he said that opinion on his own.
Yeah,
he's gonna
well,
backtrack.
he's been famous for 50 years for shooting off his mouth early.
He's gonna backtrack.
But he's got to because if you notice, all these politicians lately are backtracking from what they said
When
even 3 or 4 months ago.
Schumer shit, I was like, what the fuck? How's he up there saying that shit?
But you know what? To be honest, I totally respect that. Like,
I
respect people, not just him, anybody who can change their mind.
Yeah.
Whatever their little personal reasons are, but that whole you think this way and it's
just
got to
stick
be
to
that
it.
way. Yeah, it's like
rigid and fuck it.
There's all kinds of.
Some people die on their sword.
Yeah, and it's like don't double down on something when you know you're wrong, or you know it's not right, or it's not to your benefit.
So I want to shift gears real quick.
All right.
What was the thing that I sent you about Georgia that they're signing a bill to remove prosecutors, district
Oh,
attorneys. What
yeah.
is that?
Well, it's like Governor Kemp. He's kind of like,
Is he Trump's friend?
no, not really.
Not really.
No, it's like, and that's the thing. Like I don't know where they're going with that. I
What's the
saw it.
agenda behind it? Like,
Well, and that's the thing with a lot of things. I don't know I mean, I get like the whole TikTok thing. What I don't get about the TikTok thing is why the bill came up again.
yeah.
Because there is no evidence of Chinese hacking and whatever the allegations are. There's no evidence of it yet.
If anything, they brought
And-
more. They brought more attention to it.
Well, and that's the thing. And
It
no,
could be a trick.
well, it's got to be some kind of distraction because whatever happened with that, it it's weird because whatever happened with that, I want to know who brought it up because really Trump wasn't consulted on that,
Yeah.
which is very strange in this political climate because it seems like everything, especially from the House, shoots to him. But he had another vested interest because, like I said, you can't go from signing an executive order and 4 years later going, "Hey, whoa." Now I think I know why now, but and that's fine because in this case, I totally agree with it. TikTok should not be banned if you don't have any evidence that is causing the harm that you're saying is
But
causing.
you know, if you think about it, like from a strategic point of view, right? You said they already spoke about it 4 years ago. It was shut down.
Yeah.
Why bring it up now?
More confusion. But
You
we
know?
talked about that the other day, man.
No, not even confusion. Like, all right, think about it this way: if you brought it up now, maybe now more people are going to be on it because now it's really public news that TikTok is considered. But you know what happens with human behavior now? With when you say, "Hey, you can't have this anymore," what happens with human behavior? They want it more. So now I'm thinking,
But-
shift everybody to there and
but
censor it and send them.
TikTok wasn't having that problem though.
Hey, but you want to know what I'm seeing now on TikTok more? News clips. I never used to see news clips.
I send you like old news clips.
Yeah,
Old news
old
clips
news clips, but not like,
fascinate me.
but not now. Like you get like today's news, like a clip of what's
Yeah.
going on.
Yeah, and that's happening more and more. And I
Like
send
they're
you like,
adapting their systems to.
but and that's the the algorithms and all that. I mean, I like what I sent you today. I like old news clipping, old news videos of the 40s, 50s, 60s.
Yeah, oh man, she sent me today.
Hey, but that was that. Oh, there's no racism in America thing.
That's
but
what they want to ban, though. They don't want people to see that.
Yeah, no, and exactly. That's
You
they
should
don't
play
want
that video. Right?
they don't want you to see it. I got like 10 of them, but I
He
mean,
said,
just,
what he called?
yeah, just like they did interviews with yeah, you can say it. It's not a friendly.
Yo, I'm gonna repeat it right now because when I heard the guy say that, I was like, no, what's up with that guy?
But that's America, and that's what, and I think it was revolving around for those of you who aren't in the room.
He said we're trying to stop the animalistic nigga rock and roll bop.
Yes,
What the fuck?
and that was revolving around, I guess, Beyonce making a country song or whatever. I don't know.
Why did Beyonce make that song?
I don't know, because she could. Why not?
Why not, right?
They stole Tracy Chapman's song and made it a country song. Why can't she do a song?
I heard Elvis stole everything too from black people anyway.
Like he did. But it's like that was still history though. I mean, it's like I don't know, was he a modern older Eminem? Like any white person that is there such a thing as appropriating whatever? I mean, you have black people or whatever, you may sing opera, and is there really such a thing? Now, if you do that and you don't give anybody any credit for it, like you weren't the innovator.
No, but they said
whatever.
that music. They say that music is not.
Oh,
There's nothing innovative. Everything is being
no.
recycled.
It was all
It's
Chuck
being
Berry
recycled. Yeah,
and
it's being recycled. It's being recycled.
Music it's funny because music right now. I was telling a guy in my gym like you guys suck. He's like 25 years old. I'm like, do you realize you're in the gym right now in 2024 and the shit that you're playing on the sound system is 40-year-old music.
Yeah, but recycled. You want to
Yeah.
know something that they've gotten so bad at it, recycling music,
Yeah.
that I'm seeing my generation, what I was growing up hearing, recycled to today's generation.
Yeah, and that's it. Because when I was,
they're not even going back anymore. They're not
in the
even doing the work.
No, in the 1980s, we did not listen to music from the 1940s.
You get it? But
They're redoing it. They're sampling.
But to go to the 1940s is to work. I'm seeing shit from 2000.
Yeah.
I swear to God, I'm seeing shit from 2000. They're not even doing the work. They're like, yo, pick up whatever was
Well, from
popular.
2000, if you're seeing something from 2000,
That's
it was
24
sampled
years.
from 1970.
Yeah.
It just like after the 90s, like people stopped making the
Original
original
music.
content. Everything's like
Recycle.
it's
Use this beat.
sampled, and
But I think that's to create a monopoly in it. Because if you own the original royalties to that sample, you're just making more money for your pocket. Because even if you use a little snippet, I was seeing the guy who created. There was this old guy who I forgot his name, but he was showing how he's old as fuck, and he said that he received a check for 90,000 for some shit that he created like in the early 1920s or 30s, and it wasn't even like popular, but they
right.
used his sound, just a little bit of it, and they're paying him royalties on it. But I wonder if he's making 90 grand. Imagine what that company's making.
Oh yeah,
Because back then they were really getting shitty deals.
yeah.
They didn't know nothing.
He probably made, if he got anything on it, might have been $9.
You know, so if he's making 90 with inflation, pretty much $9.
Well, yeah, but that's the wonders of copyright.
Yeah,
and a lot of the entertainers, just like Tracy Chapman. Now I'm assuming she's my age. I mean, I remember when Fast Car came out.
I don't know. I don't know about
Well, I bought her album. It was like so good. You had to go out to the store,
Get
went out to Peaches, and I bought Fast Car, Tracy Chapman, and that song was
it
awesome.
a record?
Actually, it was a cassette.
The cassette, all right.
Yeah,
a little fast forward.
Yeah,
a little fast
it's just a
forward.
little bit. I had the cassette and listened to it. Fast Car was awesome. It was on MTV and saw the video and everything. And that was 80. I don't know, late 80s,
Too young for me.
late 80s, whatever. I know is about time, but when they rehashed that song, and you know, these young people go, "Oh man, that's a great song."
They don't know.
No, they don't know. And then I saw like some weird posters like, "Oh, the original lady who did it is," you know, I'm like, it's her song. It's not Luke Combs' song. I mean, I'm glad that he didn't come off that way, like, you know, like not get credit.
He has to pay respect.
It was great that they sang the song together.
There's people that know the originality.
Oh yeah, and she was just as talented as she was. I was happy. Hey, when I see somebody my age and they still look good, I get happy. I'm like, she's still around. She still sounds good. She's getting paid for it, like you said, the whole royalty thing.
Yeah, that's important. Those people are pioneers in music, and
yeah,
somebody just monopolized them, and you gave them some garbage back then and signed away their rights.
And there you go, because she was one of those artists, kind of like Prince and the handful. They made their own music. That wasn't. She played the guitar. Prince played his guitar. Hendrix played the guitar. Like all these true artists and bands, they actually did the talent. It wasn't censored. It wasn't this synthesizer over here, and it wasn't whatever.
Do you think we're gonna get the 3-day work week or the 4-day work week? Bernie Sanders. I think it's a good idea.
No, it's always been a good idea.
It's due.
But politicians never want you to have what they have. Politicians already do that shit.
They do that shit.
They get the summers off. They get the benefits. They
get
the
some
pensions.
Garbage that I seen the other day. Yo, it just sucks that the lack of information makes shit horrible. Yeah. I seen some shit where Biden said he's going to tax millionaires 25% more. This is where the trick is to this right now.
Yeah,
millionaires don't make money off. Like people who have millionaires, 90% is not off income.
They don't get a check.
So how are you going to tax them 25% more if they're not making it off income? And it's like a trick for the people who don't know.
It's a talking point. And reality is like somebody with the billionaire was telling you about
comments, tax the rich. Bro, they're not being taxed.
There's so many tax shelters and bunkers,
corporations, veils.
A billionaire does not get a check from the billionaire factory.
He doesn't. He's not at home. He's not like he doesn't clock in and say today's payday. Hey, well, there's $1 million.
Let's go back to, I want to call them working day suckers, but because there was nothing better offered. Like in my career,
it worked though back then in the 50s. It worked.
But the 40-hour work was based on like one person doing it, and
taking care of the family.
You could buy a house,
2 houses, 2
cars, dog,
somebody
kid,
stay home, dog.
Yeah, that was different. That was worth 40 hours. But now when you work 40 hours and you can't pay half your rent, and that's got nothing to do with today. That started But back in the 80s where you were like, I don't know, I really can't afford a house on one salary anymore.
But you want to know something that nothing's changed. Like they're talking about, oh, this is costing us more. It's lies. Nothing has
Yeah.
changed. It's the same. You know what is it? The person at the top is like, you know what? We should charge more.
Well, that's all it is.
That's all it
There's
is.
not a rampant run of inflation because
No
these
way.
companies are making record
They're
profits.
killing it.
But
Their margins are
yeah,
ridiculous.
but it's like, hey, the real world is if you're making $80 million a year profit and you can help your employees by making 35 million a year, you're not going to do it.
You're not gonna do it.
They don't do it. But that's why right now what I like about it's not. Well, it's good to have administration that actually is prompt, but pushing unions because people don't
Trying to get
realize
them out. They're
how
trying to get them
well,
out.
and that's
Amazon's trying to get them
well,
out.
and that's why because unions
Protect.
benefit the lower level people.
Uh-huh.
Like
They did
it's
it with hospitals. They did it with hospitals.
if you have a boss, and that way unions work, and even like in like even where I worked in places like that, if you have a boss that treats you well, and you're like, oh, you'll get you know, you'll get a raise and this and that. You're
Not a
happy.
pizza party.
You're happy. Yeah. When we start getting pizza parties and they're like, well, we got you some new equipment and everything, everything that doesn't go towards your family and putting food on your table, that's when there's a disconnect. And we're like, hey man, people need unions to protect their interests, but the corporate folks, they never want it because I'll tell you in my 28-year career, I was telling you earlier, like what got me through it more so than anything was I always seemed to manage to pull off a schedule where I had a 4-day work week.
That's good.
It was offered to our civilians in a lot of places in corporate America because when they couldn't give raises to civilians, they gave the 4-day work week option.
Okay.
Which is, you know what? It's something. It's less gas you have to burn to get to work.
But they have
it's
that means
appointments.
everything else has to go down though.
No, nothing changed. You're still doing your 40 hours.
Just within 4 weeks? Just
Yeah.
just
Well,
4 days.
well, it's like in most places you have 2 different shifts. Like it's still covered 5 days a week.
I get it. It's just changed the
Yeah.
hours.
Yeah. Somebody's off Friday, somebody's off Monday, and it works. So
it'll be harder to come. Yo, I don't work like regular people work, but imagine being off Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. You think you're gonna make it in on Monday?
Well, that's the thing because you like your job. You're gonna come in. You're not gonna screw up a job like that when your reality is.
Well, me, I'm my own boss,
Yeah,
so it's
yeah,
tough for me to
say,
take off 4 days.
You're spoiled, but
Spoiled.
If
No way.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday, that's when you would be off.
You know that I constantly stay working because if I take 4 days off, like do nothing for 4 days, yo, I don't want to do shit on that 5th day.
But not everybody's wired like you.
I don't want to do shit on that 5th day. I'm like, what? Work? Oh.
We had you know, I was off Saturday, Sunday, Monday. That was my shift.
Beautiful.
And that is, I could schedule my doctor's appointments. If I had kids, that's less daycare. It's money in your pocket just by doing that. And
you got a day that you could get shit faced, sleep the next day.
Yeah.
Then you got another day
watch
to
the Super Bowl. You know,
stay in bed a whole day, get up and do something else.
It cuts down on your sick time.
It does.
You don't have to. You don't
I
have
think
to use so much time.
It would benefit.
It has proven to be effective. Like
and mentally, it'll help a lot of people.
Well, and I was going to say mentally, it's probably the most important benefit that you do get, but people don't realize that it creates longevity.
It does.
What I don't like
they'll work longer.
Well, yeah, and I think Sanders is the bill actually made it to the Senate. It's a 32-hour work week. You know, that's just as good.
You think it'll pass?
I think people are really going to look at it.
Take a serious look at it.
There's no reason.
Why not?
The only people that are going to bitch about it are corporations. It's not going to be regular people
because they want to keep pushing it. But look, I used to work for Walmart,
but they're not losing any money.
I used to work for Walmart distribution, and my neighbor still works there. I used to work there years ago. And he told me the robots are coming in like 6 months, and everybody's losing their job.
Oh yeah, that's everywhere, man. That's why I got to bag my own freaking groceries when I go to Aldi or